soup. Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more RPG horror stories. Okay, so look at this. I drew this. I'm not improving as an artist for sure, but at least I'm trying. I'm trying to put together something soon, special. Definitely not gonna be RPG horror stories related, but it's gonna be D&D related, so I'm hopefully gonna be releasing it sometime soon on this channel. How soon? I don't know. I'm trying to work my best as possible, and I'm trying to practice in my artwork. Yes, I know it looks goofy. Yes, I know it looks silly. Yes, I know it looks amateur. Stop making fun of me. I'm already hurt as it is. Let's start off with the first RPG horror story for today. So I start to hate my own campaign, but mostly a player. Hello people of Reddit, English is not my first language, so I apologize in advance for any mistakes or weird phrasing. I recently started an anime style campaign using a mecha system from my country, also anime inspired. From the start, it wasn't exactly the best system. I also had a hard time finding players. The friend I originally started with didn't like the system and left, so I was left with 2 players. Later a third player joined. For a few sessions, things went pretty well. I want to talk about this third player. The character he plays is the classic hero without stain or fear. He wants justice, the good of the world, etc. A very idealistic character. I always found him a bit naive, but he wasn't really causing problems for the group. Maybe he was a little repetitive because he always made the same speeches, but overall, it wasn't a big issue. The problem started when he began a ship. Basically, the last player who joined and this player started a romantic relationship between their characters. The first scene was already pretty cringe, but I let it pass. One of them even did a 30-minute monologue to confess their feelings, so okay. Situation continued until the last session, where both I and another player started to feel a bit uncomfortable. He wasn't doing explicit sexual scenes, but he kept making a lot of sexual implications. You know, the kind of stuff someone does when they just discovered sex. For example, he would say things like, "Me and character X go somewhere private for a moment," and when they came back, another character would notice their hair was messy. Honestly, even though this is an anime style campaign, it started to make me cringe quite a bit. The problem is that I never managed to finish a campaign because of various personal issues, and I would really hate for this one to end as well. But if I kick him out, I would have to look for another player again. And honestly, I don't feel like going through the whole process of finding new people. At the same time, I don't really know what to do. I'm wondering if I should talk to him about it. I've already called him out before because his character really didn't fit the setting. The campaign is sci-fi, and he brought a character that uses magic, for example. So now I'm not really sure how to handle this situation. Well, talking to him is probably going to be the very first thing you want to do. Second of all, character that uses magic in a sci-fi system when there's no magic there, I feel like it's a little bit of a problem. You should also talk to your player about that specifically. Explain to him, man, I know you want to be a fantasy anime protagonist, but this is sci-fi. Do some sort of like a sci-fi flavor to your magic or such. I don't know, maybe it's like a psycho or something, who knows. As for the cringe flirting and stuff, if it's a real big drag, definitely mention it to him. Like if it stops the game in its tracks because they just too busy or role-playing the characters being flirty and coy and stuff, but from the way you described it, it sounds like they're trying to be very respectful about it. They want to have this kind of ship going on with their characters, and they want to go away having like a steamy romance and stuff, but they're not going in detail about it. They're like, we step away to have a bit of a steamy alone time, and that's it. Basically, they're basically fade to blacking for themselves, which is kind of nice and honestly very polite of them. If they'll go into details about like, I grab them by the butt, give a nice slap, lick my fingers, stick it in their mouth, do dirty things to them, grope them, tear off their shirt, swinging them across my shoulder, and slam them down the bedroom before having the biggest, loudest sex imaginable, then yeah, I could see how that become a problem, because that'd be very, very uncomfortable, very distracting at the table. But if they're doing like, we go away to have a little bit of a kissy time on the side, then I think it's fine. I think it could be tolerable. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it depends on what you can tolerate DM. If it's not so disruptive and they keep it tasteful, if you're okay with it, keep the game going. If you're not okay with it, definitely speak to the player. I don't know. Comments, what do y'all say? I don't think there's anything okay with a little bit of light, flirty roleplay. As long as it doesn't get explicit, I think it's fine personally, but that's just me. What do y'all think? Let's get to the next story for today. Creep DM tries to build his own Waifu Harem. This is my first time writing something on Reddit, and English is not my first language, so please be patient with me. My wife and me met the DM in university, and he seemed nerdy and like a really nice guy. He was a bit awkward at times, but nothing out of the ordinary or creepy yet. For the first session, the plan was that only us 3 would be playing, and then he would search for another player to join. Fine for us, we were hyped to try Pathfinder and learn how to play. Start character creation and something were a bit off, but I couldn't put my finger on it at the time. I began to hint to my wife that she should play as a frontliner I was kind of disappointed that she chose to play a male mystic, but let it slide. At the same time, I created a female fighter. For the love of the gods, I can't remember what class she was. He showed me some races he deems fit for a female character. That should have been my first red flag, but at the time I thought he meant, would it be best for your female fighter? And worded it awkwardly. I chose a changeling because I thought her race would make a fun plot point, overcoming her mother and all. Made her buff but girly. Scars, muscles, flower crowns with love for things that smell good. I really loved her. She was kind, strong, and loyal. DM didn't like her at all. Now, on one hand, I can kind of somewhat understand why DM would be like, hey, here are these options and stuff, because, listen, if you've ever seen a female tiefling, God, they're hot. I mean, more than just because of the fire resistance and the whole hellish charm and stuff. I don't know, man. Like, devil girls with horns and tails? Not gonna lie, they're kind of hot. Maybe it's because I'm a tiefling and stuff, but they're kind of hot. But also, elves can be hot. Man, there's just a lot of hot things in D&D in general. Pathfinder probably has a lot of hot things too. I don't know. I've seen a lot of not safe for work female tiefling art out there on the internet, and chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. But I suppose it could be a little bit weird that your DM is like, ooh, here's all these options and stuff for female, characters and stuff that you would want to make. There you go. We got this hot version. We got this other hot version and stuff. That's cool and all. It's cool for your DM to suggest these sort of things, but it's a little bit weird that they're getting upset when you don't choose a specificality that they want. Like, if they want to have like a harem, they could just play like a hentai anime game or something if they really want that. In the first session, he made us roll for... Oh my god! Why? You don't need to roll for peen size and boobie size. We don't need that. Y'all should have left immediately when he was like, okay class, we're rolling for boobie size, roll for cup size. Dick and boob size were the characters. We laughed it off and decided not to roll and left her have small boobs. He was upset and ignored her most of the time. Was weirdly mean towards my character. What? He's even mean to little itty bitty titty committee members? How dare he? I would never be mean to Mary, cup size notwithstanding. I would never be mean to Mary or anybody with an itty bitty titty committee. Who cares about size? Honestly, I don't even know how many people. I mean, some people probably care about size, but whatever. I'm rambling. Let's continue. He introduced us to his world in which every character was at least bisexual. Cause of course they are. Later we found out it was so that every character, especially the women, would be into his DMPC. Cause of course. His DMPC was a beautiful bard lady. Everyone knew her. Everyone liked her. Everyone was into her. He showed us a picture he had drawn. He was a skilled artist, but boy was she sexualized. He named her after his girlfriend. So we thought, okay, maybe she's made after her liking. And the horses went wild with him. Whoa. Okay, this guy is here just to play a harem simulator. He should have just written a book and then just, I don't know, rub one out into a book. Ew, why did I say like that? Ew, I take it back. Ugh. Anyway, of course he's making his DMPC the bestest ever, the hottest ever. Everyone loves the DMPC, cause of course they do. What? Mary Sue? No, she's just the bestest ever, guys. Of course. He couldn't take it that our characters weren't totally into her and found her suspicious after she actively stole from us. Next session, he introduced us to his real-life girlfriend that would join our game. She was nice and fun, but meeting her started the real horror. Not because of her though. After the red flags were accompanied by sirens, he started to argue with us that it wasn't unconsensual boning when someone used magical potions on someone that didn't want to have sex with them. Because they wouldn't remember or think they wanted it afterwards. What? No! It's still that! It's still unwanted boning! If it's unwanted, it's unwanted. I want to say the other word, but I can't cause YouTube. He didn't understand why drugs or alcohol were the real life equivalent for that stuff and why we were so sensitive with that topic. His girlfriend was on owner's side. She supports? What? Hold on 1 second. What? Crazy! How can you support somebody like... How can you be on their side like that? Do they not know that actual IRL roofie? Like, in real world, people roofie to do that kind of thing. The sanity has left the building. After one session, he started to tell me that my character would die in the next fight. Just like that. First, I thought he was trying to warn me and help me be prepared for the next fight. So I searched up and down for things I could do, and he denied every idea I had beforehand. The fact that y'all decided to still stay after first session, it eludes me. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? You always just circle back to, nah, she will die, but I created a better character for you. My sexy sex worker kitsune bard that knows my DMPC. I think they dated or something. Just play her, that's easier. You will like it. I didn't. I just want to play my girly pop berserker. And has the audacity to force his super awesome extra special character Talestomorrowdnd Suit 2 again on you. Cringe! Cringe beyond all reason. Between sessions he told us how abusive his girlfriend was and that she was cheating on him. Which was weird because we weren't that close with both of them at the time and she seemed really nice. Nonetheless, we were there for him. So now he's trauma dumping as well for no Leave. You should have left. In the session after that, he made his girlfriend character drunk and forced her to roll if the DMPC and her had sex and how good it was. My wife and I were uncomfortable, but they were dating, right? Maybe they had made up and were now really hot for one another. And he knows her boundaries, right? And the next time we could just talk to them, that was weird, right? Wrong. We drive her home and talked to her about it and she was confused because they never dated. They were never a couple. He lied to us. He thought when we thought we were dating, we would convince her that he was a good guy and she would fall for him. The guy he told us she cheated with, that was her actual boyfriend. Dude is living a fantasy. What? He thinks the person that's playing games with him is his girlfriend and the actual person she's dating is somebody What? Dude is living some sort of a fantasy life IRL. He doesn't live in reality. Please run away from this DM immediately. So after that, D&D was over for us. He really tried to build his own PC harem with female characters and players he found desirable. We later found out that my wife only could play a man because he thought she was the man in our relationship and found her not sexy because she's strong-willed and not really into girly stuff like the not girlfriend and me. We also found more things out about him. He sexually harassed 2 girls and the not girlfriend too, outside of D&D. Also, he used our messages after he told us she cheated to gaslight her that the harassment wasn't harassment or not so bad because 2 other women were on his side. After finding out that we did the only reasonable thing, went to the police and after they told us that nothing will come out of it, she files a report. We searched for a telephone number of his parents and called them, telling his dad what he did. His father was sadly not surprised but mad AF and took care of him, sending him to therapy and cutting the money for his apartment. If the police won't do it, I guess the parents will. Well, some parents are definitely not gonna be great and stuff, but good thing on the dad to actually take responsibility for the failure of a child. Good lord, imagine carrying somebody like that for 9 months and it becomes a sex pest. That is extremely unfortunate to even say out loud. But oh my god, what a crazy story. Thinking, I'm still lost behind trying to make a harem. I'm still reeling and lost behind thinking you're dating somebody and then saying the person that dating is who they're cheating with and lying to some sort of a couple because you're trying to get some sort of a ploy going there is insane. It's crazy. Dude should be in a mental asylum. Dude should be in a loony bin. Oh my god. Hope he gets help and stays away from people. Oh my god. This is insane. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that's a story. Let's get to the next story for today. A gangbang would be such a great character mom. What are these titles? Many years ago, heavily homebrewed system, often game master, but rarely with his group. The group had said they were sick of my macho character and dominating the game with system mastery regarding magic and such, despite the other players were literally writing the rules. As such, I was cross-playing a female rogue. I had a very good dexterity, intelligence, charisma, and appearance. In that order, I think, really. And that was it. Very strong in talking and surprise attacks in various social situations, and that was really it. The party had besieged the castle for some time, and it was miserable in the besieging army, and absolutely dire inside. They were eating rats. Seeking to bring the conclusion as swiftly as possible, I climbed the wall and assassinated the conclave of wizards who were one of the chief defenses, through stealth and surprise. In hindsight, I think that annoyed the GM. It would seem that escape was beyond me, and I was apprehended a few moments before I could get away. With the wizard dead, the castle would fall this night, or the next day at most. That was 100% clear to everyone. This was a semi-religious civil war, and the fighting was very bitter. One of the PCs I was with was an autonomous inquisitor type who was extremely feared. The guards take me to the dungeon, showing the various implements they had. It came across more like a BDSM sex dungeon rather than actual medieval jail, but whatever. So gorgeous. Do we have any last words before my friend and I take you to heaven with the best frick you ever going to have? Imagines the DM saying that as an NPC. I could never. What the hell is wrong with some DMs out there? I reply, yes actually. It should be clear that the military situation has not deteriorated to the extent now. The fall of this stronghold is inevitable. As such, when my compatriots inevitably smash down this door, if they find me assaulted, tortured, killed, or any combination thereof, you will not be executed per se, but rather they will strip the flesh from your bones. Your pain will be legendary, the story repeated and recounted countless times from generation to generation, spoken so as to get recalcitrant children to eat the vegetables. You quite literally wish that you had never been born. Alternatively, you might simply do nothing for the next 12 to 36 hours, in which case I will command that you and your loved ones are to be released without harm, and even allowed to collect your wages from the castle treasury as you leave. The choice is yours. I felt that was a persuasive argument. Indeed, if I had been game mastering, I would have just said this works without a roll. Nevertheless, GM asked for a persuasion roll, explaining that difficulty was extremely hard without naming a number. Let me guess, the DC was like 10 billion thousand. You could never reach it, even with a natural 20, because I DM and I shit show and stuff, player. You will not get the upper hand today, player. Let's see how this ends. One of the homebrew elements was that we each had various luck points, and if you spent all you had before the dice were rolled, you simply succeeded. NBA roll was only allowed if there was some % chance of success in the first place. As such, I announced a full luck point purge and declared that I have succeeded. Game Master then stops the flow of the game and explains how interesting character moment it will be to be gangbanged like this, how much it would change and spice the character and their internal story, how fascinating it would be, and so on and so on. I simply disagreed on that point. After 10 minutes of back and forth, the Game Master concedes that the rules are on my side, as the guards argue over whether they could in fact do that act. Yes, eventually I am rescued without being assaulted. I finished the campaign, but that was the last time that person ran a story. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine just doing this. Just honor could be like, but that assault and that trauma is gonna be so good and juicy for the story and totally not my little kink and stuff. I just want to get my rocks off and everything. I swear, this is 100% not a DM actually thinking about the player, but maybe they just want to enact a fetish or something. Honestly, I think they just want to enact a fetish. They'll like have some sort of like a torture fetish or something, or maybe like gangbang fetish. I don't know, nor do I care, but I'm pretty sure the DM was gonna have the whole thing be played out for like a 2-hour monologue, which is, I'd just rather not deal with it, honestly. I'd rather not deal with it. This is dumb. Never let this GM run anything ever again. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.